الليلة وخلي صوتك مسموع في جميع أنحاء جنوب السودان.
Yes, a very good morning to you and welcome to another edition of the Dawn program on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. Today is Wednesday, the 13th of August 2025. My name is Emmanuel Akile, together with my colleague Awad Moses, who's behind the social media coverage. We'll be right here in the studio with you on the show from now up to 8 a.m. Well, thank you for starting your day with the Dawn program. It is on iRadio every weekday from 6 to 8. To comment on any story that will be featuring on today's edition of the Dawn, do not hesitate. Be part of the conversation later by dialing 0911 or 22986 A text message on 13986. You can also stream these broadcasts live by logging onto our website iRadio.org. Follow us on Facebook and X at iRadio Juba, and do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel iRadio South Sudan. صباح الخير مستمع راديو، اهلا ومرحبا بك في حلقه جديد من برنامج الدون الليله يوم الاربعاء الموافق 13/8/2025. البرنامج في يوم الاسبوع من الساعه 6 ل 8. شارك معنا بعدين بالاتصال ارقامنا ورساله نصيه. تابعنا على الانترنت على الموقع iRadio.org، على الفيسبوك واكس على iRadio جوبا، وما تنسى تتابعنا على يوتيوب شانل iRadio South Sudan. نمشي لفاصل بسيط ومنه حنبدا بفقرتنا بتاع ريزيدنس ريبورت. مرحبا بك مرة ثانية. هلو راديو. صباح النور. نعم تفضل.
أنا بسلمي تنكسي وأنا بسلم أسرة كل اي راديو على رأسه سلطان جوزيف جوزيف رمنوكي جوزيف ناكسي ودلة وكوميديا دبازانا كبو ماريا كاترا جمان طويل أبجاز المندي جاز بنجان ده أستاذ ماجوك POC أو سينما نافع في هاي وكل الناس الباس ما يراد وانا سليم كل الناس من باس ما يراد إني كلا وانا سلام تايك دكتور من واي الناس وقوسين ناس في زراعة ناس بدورو ناس برا بمولادات في بروجو ده حاجة اللي دنيني كلا جزء بس حاجة نظر ونس في كلام بتا مبارك أن نصلا من بون كلام بتا والله بوش نجرا سواء كلام تا حيوانات ده مهم حيوانات جات من يقول ما في لمن ده حاجة الترجو أجد ده حيوانات ده كان زمان في أنا متذكر لايون ليفات كل حيوانات ده في حتى لمن جات في محلات إندي لايون أديه أكل جزء كان دور سامبر في جوال مرات إتا كافو مرات بيرل نيكا باس مصوت وقاعد كوري لايون أديه kan lefa da widoro ambala ima halal zatu kan ta ber kan ta ya ana duga sirita ta bayan ta bayan lefa da yana ta so ina haywana da ga ya turja na tunna da anna turji masagel ta na de sere am dagbe o turju ga haywana ku bayin on ta haywana da madar wajara o fe ta nim ja turju bi ga na ga widu haywana da ga la hamu bi yi so haywana de لكن لما نفوتوا تاكل الترد له حق كويس حتى في 2000 أنا متذكر في سنتين ورا هناك في بوفلو بيجينا توقع نجا وجا في محل في متوقع تفوق هناك وجا بيجينا في تو يا أنا سرا ورا كذا كان بيقولوا يا هو تجس وما أرماش وين رجال وين فأنا حيوانات زي لكن يعني مش الناس كلها بتوالد بياتهم ما دريوا عن هذه الحيوانات فنازل أجل ما بيكون ولا بس على قاله بس بيجي في منطقة وقاعدين وبصرف قروش بعلمه كيف من بونس بحيوانات إنه حياتهم إنه ده حياة برية إنه حياتهم بحيوانات إنه حياتهم إنه يكون شنو بحيوانات فأنا بقول إننا حاجات كتير يجيبين يلا نكون فوتبال يعني بيساعد حكومة تانية ما بيدعم شيء بيجد برا ولا شيء. شكرا.
Alright, شكرا لتعليقات او النقاط المهمه اللي هو طرق فيه. واي راديو، هلو واي راديو. نعم رجع تاني واتصل علينا. احنا لسه في فقرتنا بتاع ريزيدنس ريبورت، واصل ورينا شنو الحاصل في المنطقه اللي انت موجود فيه. واي راديو.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
David will go for a while.
Welcome, David.
My brother, good morning to regular callers, the listeners, and the writers of our radio. Mao Maria, Bigamas, Yanama Barab Mashawen. Lofi, Bernes Masoto. Foni, Kaman Bigamas. Katra, Kaman brother. So we need to check them exactly where they are. Greetings to Samajog, Kodako, Diangdeng, Mama Jacqueline, Tito Ton, then to all the Joseph Bear, Sultan Joseph, and then plus Kushu Gambanjang. Emmanuel, I would like to talk about the communication, the networks. I don't know where is exactly the Minister of Information, because all these networks, MTN, Zain, Digital, they are under his ministry. And now, these networks, they make themselves as they are is in black market. All the time, they increase the way they like. They have increased in July and even in August, and they still give warning that they will even increase in September. And I don't know exactly what is the role of the Ministry of Communication. Now, people are talking about technology, that South Sudan need to be part of the world. And the world is really having technology, of which people are now connected through internet, or you can even study online, you can even download something that you want to read, you even need to watch something, and the internet of South Sudan become very expensive. Why do our government block education? And education is the only thing that can connect this country to the world, and it can be the only key that can bring change in the country. But if the youth are being blocked in these ways, what will be the way forward? The internet by itself is not even very clear. It's very slow. It's not even very fast. That means the Ministry of Information and Telecommunication need to check this. Either to close all these networks and then they bring a network of South Sudan, or they can even look into another alternative. Because there is no need anytime they say that now the currency of South Sudan is losing value. Anytime they increase the way they like. The government should have to choose. Either they bring dollars so that we use it in South Sudan as it is our currency, or they even look into another alternative so that they bring a very strong pound that can even encourage and help people of South Sudan. Now this one become a very big problem, and we did not even see the reaction from the parliament or even from the ministry. This one will become too much. Anytime if they increase again in September, then the students who are now having a process of studies will not even look into the internet, and this one will not help. Can our government look into this, or especially the ministry concerned? Thank you.
Alright, thank you. موضوع بتاع التاريخ وزيادة بتاعه وده قاعد يعرقل عملية بتاعة الكوميونيكيشن للناس. اي راديو؟
Hello.
يس.
صباح الخير أكيلة جوزيف.
صباح النور.
أنا بهاي أستاذ جوزيف بتاع لقونه تحية بتاع وصل الأسابي جوزيف بتاعي متوفر. جوزيف بتاع مونكي وجوزيف بتاع ويل كله نايمين. سلطان جوزيف كان ما مرة واحد من رجال سنتهت. وشو كانوا يستلموا بنجان سليمان هايتراوا وناس بتاع يامبيو هناك أدم كوجا اكتفى مرة واحد. ناس عوين نسيبوا كده بيسلموا سليمان وماما ميري وباقي جميع متصلين ومستمعين تحية بتاعي لهم كل واحد. والله أتمنى كويس حلة بتاعي ما في حاجة بتاعي. ya Akile kan muzakir umbari kan International Youth Day alami قبل زمن كده كان في زول كانوا وزير الشباب كلام كده يعني ما كويس بأكثر بالشباب قال شباب كده ما شاركوا أقلية في قضايا سياسية في دولة جنوب السودان كيف زول كده هو أمر في شنو أو فكر شنو هو كان هذا سكان جنوب السودان هنا تقريبا أكثر من 70% شباب كيف تمشي في حكومة في سياسة كم أقل من 1% هل دي حاجة وديره pia kam shababu namma zamanu ka kam shababu gurun kam shababu banna gudura bidom kam shababu ahelu au kana inda hay wara kam shababu albikun gozu fi mustaqbal mafi shababu sha la madaris mafi ala bitu alkarimi ka shakal boda shakhsu rakshat shabab sadisi jinu godi fi rafi najin si shakil da shabab te bowen o kana reisa shabab de kalamu ki shabab mader yata der kita garfi dola فهذا هذا فاتنا إنه لازم مندير لو كان دولة بتاعنا شباب يا ما تقول كان حاجات زي ما بيحصل يعني ما نلتزم تنساك أمشي البرلمان كل شعب بيها جاسين وزارة كلها جاسين كيف شباب ليه بيقول لي بس tomorrow بتمني لهذه 200 وفي دولة ثانية جنوب السودان tomorrow ده أكيد بتوع ما في فكلام بتاع زول ده أنا ما مرتاح ده زول زي impediment للشباب is an obstacle for youth emancipation an obstacle for youth development an obstacle for youth emancipation فكلامه ده كان كده صحيح عشان الشباب بتاعنا مظاهرات وما في كان بتاعنا كان بقول كلام زي زول ده كده يشيل برا عشان ما بقول إن أنا باسيت أكتر من 70% وفي حكومة إننا minority mindset نجي في الناس جالسين يكره decide لنا لما decide مصير بتاعنا وإحنا الشباب لا يقول لك تعب تدول ده كله فكلام بتاعه هو ما كويس عشان كده كان الانترنت يوز ده كان كده يوم كتاب ورؤية بتاعه شغل الشباب تيجي السودان ايوه بلا زول زي ما شغال زي بعد وزراء مسلمين تاني شغل ما في الواحد كده ما في زول وزير بتاع يعمل ده كان بتاع صحة كان بتاع طرق كان بتاع مويه كان بتاع كهرباء كان بتاع تكنولوجي كان بتاع اتصالات كل شغل بتاعهم ما في كده الواحد ما عشان كل الناس عايزين دايرين شباب يمسك دولة دي بيجيب دولة دي بيجيب دولة في حالة ثانية فكلام بتاع زول ده أنا ما بفهمه خالص يا إيمانويل شكرا السلام عليكم
شكرا للموضوع بتاع إنه الشباب هم عندهم دور فعال لأنه هم الأغلبية في البلاد من ناحية بتاع التعداد السكاني إذن عندهم دور بيلعبوه في الحكومة كمان. راديو.
Good morning, Emmanuel. Just Akile.
Yes, good morning. Majong Sudan, welcome.
Thank you. Let me start by sending my regards to David Mago, Sultan Joseph, Mama Maria, Majuk Yet, and then Kachop, plus the rest of the regular callers. What I need to request from iRadio is the same thing that I requested last time, but due to financial problems that the iRadio is facing, I will also include the well wishes and then the donors to help the iRadio to extend its coverage to different areas. Because this time or this day, information is vital. When people get information, it helps, and it is faster than bullet. So, and we believe that in the power of communication, power of information, if it is passed well, the insecurity people can be helped through radio, because iRadio is now covering almost very big places, and it is always on air helping people. So, in the areas of Warab State, the governor currently is doing a very wonderful job, but there are no reports about it. People are not getting it because there are poor coverage. No, there is no, iRadio is not active there, especially in the areas of Tony East, areas of Tony North, currently where the governor is, and areas of Tony South. So we need this as a management of iRadio to try get some resources and let extend this good radio to help people, because if such information are always found by the people, translate to them in their local languages, they will be able now to understand and accept what the government is calling for. So the people, since the government start touring, there is no any other fight now. The remaining issue is the dissemination. There is no dissemination. But if there was a radio the people can get it well, and then peace can prevail. So this is my request. The management of Air Radio, I know things are not that okay, but at least let them try to extend this good radio.
All right, thank you, Majung Sudan. And as we continue to inform the public that we are not sleeping, we are trying our best to solicit the funds, but then also it is you also who know the importance of iRadio that can also support or help us with the penny that you have. It can also support iRadio to continue being on air and also expand to other parts of the country. iRadio. iRadio. Yes. تفضل.
أذكر لكل المستمعين بتاعنا بالحياة اليوم المتصلين والمستمعين والناس اللي الرسائل لما فيه الأخ أبو جاس سلام بتاعك وصل جزء كونينا سلام بتاعك وصل وكوشوك وماما فوني لما في جزء الجمهورات قال وكل المستمعين طبعا. أكيد أنا نرتبط في حاجة أنا شايف ده بالنسبة لنا كاستفزاز كشعب السودان. مستشار الأمن للجمهورية طلب التشريحات كده دائما انا قد اشوف ده استفزاز لنا كشعب. اول حاجه لما دخل اسم مرسوم يعني اللي كان وقال جنوب السودان مليون مقرب على الاخر جنوب السودان. انا قد نسمع حاجه جنوب السودان هم كقاده كبار في اعمار هم اعلان جنوب السودان. جنوب السودان ما مليون لانه ربنا ما بلعنا احنا برانا يعني كتينا ربنا بتاعنا فيه ربنا باقر بس لنا ده واحد. نمرة اثنين يا قام جابت تسريات اعلاميه في اعلام بانه تمايني مات ودي كان ما حاجه تيجي بس تتوالي في اعلام لانه ده كده يعني بيخلي احنا بنكون قاعدين في هموم لانه كان حط بتاعنا في تمايني كويس. يا ده ثاني كمان يعني كلام امبارح طلبوا في التسريات بانه يعني نائب الاول لرئيس الجمهوريه اعتقلوا لاسباب جنائيه يعني جرائم بتاع مثلا وعمل جرائم ما الدستور بتاعنا بيقول شنو يعني كده لما يتكلموا زول 24 ساعه من المفترض يقدموا في محكمه كويس من المفترض يشيلوا في محكمه الدكتور ده ما هو مجنون كويس كان يعمل حاجه غلط ما مشكله لكن يقدموا في محكمه عشان كشاب بنار زول ده عمل 1 2 3 4 لكن زول بيتكلم بيكون بس لمده قريب كم شهر 6 شهر ولا 7 شهر بيكون قاعد في البيت ما بيطلع برا. كيف بيقول زول لي عمل جريمه جنائيه ده ما شو من قبل كده لا بيقول عندهم كده بنفسه تسريح ما هي كده بنفسه تسريح امبارح برضه امبارح كمان كده بنفسه يعني تسريح. انا قاعد اشوف ما حاجه بيقول انا كشعب السودان انا بشوف شغل ما بيقول الاستبداد دائما ما بيكون كده بتاعنا كانت درجه كل حياتي هنا كل حاجه بيجيب لنا 80 بتاعنا ما حاجه بيجيب لنا يعاد لانه كلامهم ده كيف ورد انه حتى وفد بتاع السياسه الافريقيه الجاده هم جايين ساكت ما في حاجه بيعمل يعني الجماعه كان جايين في السلام هم جايين في الحكومه يعمل تنفيذ في السلام المشهد لكن اصل كلامهم كقاله بتاعنا جيب ورد هم ما قاعدين نسمع الكلام بتاع الناس الجايين على افريقيا فكده حب بتاعنا بيكون حاصل من هنا انا جاب نرتب رساله الحكومه معارضه يا جماعه كلنا يكون عندنا سلطه الاغلب احنا عايزين سلام ما بنكلمهم بنسكتهم ابراء
نعم
يا دول
شكرا لك ورسالتك يكون واصل ان شاء الله للاذان الصاغيه. وموضوع بتاع تمايني ده تمايني ما مات على حسب كلام بتاع الميدياشن تيم. ده الموضوع اللي حنتكلم فيه بعد عناوين بتاع الاخبار. نمشي لفاصل اعلاني ومنه حنجي نواصل.
Are you tired of the long queues while transferring money? Well, MTN Momo International Money Transfer is finally here. You can now send and receive money to Uganda or Kenya or receive money from the rest of the world. Experience financial freedom and easy life with Momo. To access the service, dial *200 *1 *3 hash.
For too long, The echoes of conflict have scarred our land, tearing the very fabric of our communities. Years of war tore our nation and broke our soul. Where is the promise? South Sudan, a nation born from hope, shaped by resilience, now calls us to a new song, a song of peace, harmony, and forgiveness. Let go of anger and hate. Open your hearts. Every tribe, every clan, join the effort. The same spirit that united us at independence still lives within us. It is time to mend what was broken, to forgive what was done, and to embrace our shared identity as South Sudanese. Today, let us choose a different path. Unity over division, healing over hurt, and understanding over anger. From every village and town, let peace and unity be renowned. Every individual, every community has a vital role to play. Let us reject the divisions of the past and work together for a future where peace is not just a dream, but our lived reality. Forgiveness is our strength. Harmony is our path. And a rebuilt nation is our promise. This message is brought to you by TFN and the Central Equatorial State Ministry of Peace Building.
In the skies above South Sudan, trust begins on the ground. At South Sudan Civil Aviation Authority, we don't just manage aviation, we uphold your right to safe, secure, and sustainable air travel. Every flight path is guided by international standards. Every airport protected with enhanced security. Every decision made with future generations in mind. From air traffic control to passenger safety, South Sudan Civil Aviation Authority is investing in systems, people, and policies that guarantee quality service delivery. We are not just overseeing aviation, we are building a reliable, transparent, and resilient airspace for all. Because you deserve to fly with confidence, you deserve to land with peace of mind. South Sudan Civil Aviation Authority. Safe, secure, sustainable. For more information, visit our website at www.sscaa.gov.ss or reach us on support@sscaa.gov.ss.
Your eye on South Sudan. iRadio. Your eye on South Sudan. iRadio.
مرحبا بك مرة ثانية. نواصل بفقرة ريزونانس ريبورت قبل ما نمشي نعناوين الأخبار. اي راديو. حلو اي راديو.
الو اي راديو.
سلطان.
يا سليمان ولا كيلي؟
قال انت لسه نايم مرة واحد.
والله ايمان ولا انا ما نمت بس من الساعة 5 إلى أنا قلت إيمانويل تشيكا أنا قمت طوال لكن سبق يعني معي
معليش
يديك العافية يا إيمانويل لكن أنا ببدأ من الجزء من لبنان وبجاك كوبجات الليلة ودافد بقى بيناك وكشف وبانجان مجيون بتاعنا بتاع السودان مجيون بتاعنا كمان والساد أنا بسلم على كونا الكشف وسليمان ما بسلم قال سليمان أنا معروف يا سليمان وانا بسلم عليه. انت عارف يا ايمانويل نحن طبعا ماما ماريا قوفو ام البلبل الناس داري منك دائما كلام بتاع ترومبات يا ايمانويل اكيله وكمان ما يفوت مسمعين اكثر يا ايمانويل اكيله على راسه مولانا ديغاور في جامعه جوبا انا بسلم عليه وابونا شارلي زناك انا بسلم عليه في قديلي. ايمانويل كلام بتاع ترومبات انا ما اعرف الناس دول اللي بتصدق ترومبات يا ايمانويل اكيلي ترومبات بتاعنا مليان جاز وبنزين وما له شيء جنوبي زي دول بتصدق الترومبات دي. انت عارف لو جينا تساكي السكه بتاعنا ده ها تبقى من القياده لا بكون 5 ترومبات في مال واحد يا جماعه. ترومبات يا في تجاره جنوبي يا فيها دولار يا جنوبي ما فيها كتوره شديده يا جماعه. إيمانويل كده يوم واحد كده شيلك عربية وليبو وراسبو بكون في كم فرق في الجبهة ده. أسمع بتاع جنوب السودان الكبير يا جماعة فيها جنوبيين كتير فوقه. يعملوا ترومبات زي فول بدمس ها ترومبات يعملوا زي فول بدمس في السكة يبيعوا برا ما فيها كتورة يا ناس دارين دولارات ما كويس نمدنا نحن دائما الناس بتاع مشاكل إذا الناس بتاع مشاكل ده نكتب ترومبا ده شنو كسر أماكن بتاع عساكر ما يكتب في ترومبات دائما دولة فيها مشاكل ما يكتب في ترومبات ده ودي بعيد ويعملوا المسؤوليات بعيد
نعم
يجيبوا في المال السكن أنا بشوفه الناس بصدق ترومبات يا إيمانويل الليلة دي إذا عملت بيت بعد شوية تقلب بترومبا وصدق لك إذا مواطن الجنبك ده ما تقبل يا أخي كلام بتاع ترومبا ده يا
نعم
أخي بيت أبوك جيران إنك أكانوا بقول لك لا إذا قمت ما كان عمل ترومبا أنا بكون بيتي وده جيران وتعمل ترومبا كلام ده مرفوض كلام ده رسالة يمشي للمية ويمشي للدولة بصدقه ولا يمشي لحكومة كبير ذاته حكومة سكار كانت حكم جديدة كان شو كلام بتاع ترومبات يا إيمان ولا كيله وشكرا جزيلا.
شكرا جزيلا. كلام بتاع ترومبات وده موضوع مهم اللي طرق فيه سلطان جوزيف ودائما هو بيتكلم في نفس الموضوع ده. إذا ده بيعني إنه الحكومة لازم تقدر تسمع للتعليقات أو للكونسيرنز اللي بيجي من الشعب. نمشي لعناوين الأخبار.
This is iRadio.
The iRadio.
Your eye on South Sudan.
Right, news headlines with Lasuba Memo, who's right here with me in the studio. Good morning, Lasuba. What do you have for us today?
Good morning, Emmanuel Joseph Akile. The Peace and Security Council of the African Union has called for the implementation of the permanent ceasefire and stronger protection for civilians and humanitarian workers following a two-day official visit to Juba. The Transitional National Legislative Assembly has passed the Wildlife Conservation and Protected Areas Bill 2025. And the Ministry of Health and its partners have launched the second phase of the malaria vaccination campaign in 52 counties across the country.
Right.
These and many more.
Thank you للسوبة. خليك قريب من الراديو بتاعك وحتلقى التفاصيل في رأس الساعة. Right, welcome back from the break, and you're still listening to the Dawn program. 27 minutes now to the top of the hour. Tumaini initiative is not dead, as declared by the head of government delegation. Now, this is according to Ambassador Muhammad Ali Guyo, the deputy chief mediator of the Kenya-led South Sudan peace process. Remember last month, the head of the government delegation declared the initiative for Tumaini as dead, stating that the opposition involved in the talks has no case. So Kolmanyang Juk, who is also the senior presidential advisor, said the United People's Alliance wants to do away with the 2018 revitalized peace agreement. He said most of the concerns and demands raised by the opposition have already been addressed in the peace agreement. So Kol described the Tumaini document, suggesting the leadership council to be the highest organ of the government as a coup. Now, according to him, some of the opposition members are staying outside the country for years, renting or buying villas, questioning where they got the money from, if not from South Sudan during their tenure in the government. He also added that the government of South Sudan also questioned its Kenyan counterpart for allowing the United People's Alliance to form a military wing in Nairobi, citing the East African Community Bloc. So last evening, I caught up with Ambassador Guyo, who's the deputy chief mediator, and I asked him some questions to respond to this status. So where are we now from the Tumaini initiative? And this is what he had to say. Let's listen to this 12-minute conversation I had last evening with Ambassador Guyo.
The Tumaini initiative, as you know, was designed as a unique peace process that herald glad tidings and hope for the people of South Sudan. As you know, hope does not die at all. The Tumaini initiative is also based on a high-level blessing, guidance, and leadership in South Sudan, Kenya, region, and beyond. The Tumaini initiative has a well-established protocol, including procedures and channel of communication between the parties to the conflict and people and between parties and mediators. In line with our rules of procedure, parties in the Tumaini process agreed not to use media as a channel of communication on matters touching on mediation and negotiation unless there are prior agreement. The assertion by the leader of the government delegation to Tumaini process was not communicated formally, neither was it officially communicated via informal channel. Therefore, we were surprised that the leader of the government delegation used the media to communicate on a weighty issue and important matter as the Tumaini process.
And now, since the process is now taking long for it to reconvene, or for members or the delegates to reconvene or to resume the talks, people are casting doubts, the people of South Sudan in general, about the process. So what would you say, or what role has the mediation been playing actually to ensure that the Tumaini resumes as soon as possible?
You very well note that after the adjournment of the Tumaini initiative, there are a lot of dynamics that took place. Situation evolved, transformed in a way that we are following closely within the Tumaini process. And a consultation, of course, is going on to ensure that the resumption of Tumaini process will be on course, and will depend on the outcome of this consultation.
And Ambassador, when the Tumaini started, during the commencement of the Tumaini Peace Initiative, the opposition groups were present under different names as the holdout groups indeed. And all of a sudden, the government delegation continued to argue or to raise concern that all of a sudden the opposition or the holdout groups renamed itself as UPA, and also having a military wing. And that was a concern of the government delegation, even about questioning the neutrality of Nairobi about the process, allowing the opposition to form a military component or military wing in Nairobi. So don't you think this was also a genuine concern or a point from the government of South Sudan in that regard?
The Tumaini initiative inherited the parties that were negotiating under the St. Egidio process in Rome. These parties primarily comprised of political leaders, military parties with military wings, as well as, of course, with the Tumaini process, we injected stakeholders and civil society. The parties negotiating under the Rome Initiative, in the course of negotiation during the Tumaini process, it changed their name from SOMA to United People Alliance. The question is it legally right as far as mediation is concerned? Is it politically right? From the mediation standpoint, the best practice in the mediation process is that the parties are at liberty to change their name, their slogan, and their emblem in the course of their negotiation with the other side. This was the process that has been taking place over the years across the world. And just to give you an example, during the negotiation under the Axis in Addis Ababa, as well as also in the RX6 negotiation, parties were able to change their names without being questioned by the other parties that they were negotiating with. So the UPA, when it changed the name, they filed officially notifying the mediation about their change of name, the emblem, as well as slogan. Therefore, the mediation accepted United People Alliance as a bona fide opposition party negotiating with the government, fulfilling the rules of procedure for the change of their name. The mediation was able to discuss this with the government delegation and brought to them up to speed, including also the formal communication that was channeled by UPA to the government, and deliberation took place for a day or two, and the government delegation finally accepted the United People Alliance as a party with which they were negotiating before adjournment. So as far as the change of name is concerned, the composition, as I have stated earlier on, that one was given. Mediation took upon itself to engage the government delegation on this matter. The government was able to understand the dictate of the procedures that were followed, including from other jurisdictions that were similar, particularly when parties in South Sudan changed their names in the course of negotiation, and they were able to understand this. In fact, we also brought to the attention of the parties that even if the agreement is reached, there is a clause, normally, standard clause, that is of the agreement, that is able to take care of this kind of change, even in the post-agreement situation. So, with regards to the questioning of neutrality of the process, as well as also the neutrality of the Tumaini process follows the time-tested peace diplomacy architecture of the Republic of Kenya, with historical credential of successful delivery of peace in the region, including the comprehensive peace agreement that ushered in the independence of South Sudan. The Tumaini initiative is anchored on the international best practice led by mediators, the renowned mediators such as General Lazarus Umbeo, that have earned the trust and confidence of the people of South Sudan.
And so, Ambassador, with all this deliberation or this explanation, after the government head of delegation mentioning the controversy over whether Tumaini is dead or not, and also the issue of UPA responding, saying this is a negative or anti-peace attitude from the new government delegation, what would you tell the people of South Sudan as to when will the resumption of the talks resume?
I think it is important, as a matter of fact, also to interact with some of the issues outlined by the head of government delegation in the media. Mm-hmm. And in particular, those issues were issues that we regarded as historical during the first 3 months of the peace process, that is from May, June, and July. And the position of the government evolved, transformed. The position of the parties also transformed. And we were actually dealing with a new issues that were harmonized, rationalized, and distilled into a protocol that had a common understanding between the parties and the government of South Sudan. So what came out as something of, the head of government delegation respecting it is just a prior government position that was done and dusted and other positions articulated thereafter. So that did not actually concern us. In fact, it's something that the people of South Sudan should take note, that it's important to engage with the new protocols, the new understanding, and also to focus on the work ahead. The work ahead is, one, it's important that there is need for resumption of dialogue by the parties in South Sudan to ensure that the transition in South Sudan is sound and can have a meaningful and substantive end that will usher in a new dispensation in South Sudan. That should be the focus of all of us as a region, and also the focus of the leadership and the people of South Sudan. That is all for now, but also ready anytime for our engagement with iRadio as and when necessary. Thank you so much.
نعم ده كان هناك نائب بتاع رئيس المفاوضات أو التيم اللي قاعد يعمل الوساطة بتاع مبادرة بتاع التمايني بيس انيشيتيف على وهو السفير محمد علي جويو. كان بيتكلم معي امبارح بالليل، وده طبعا في انه مبادرة بتاع التمايني ما مات زي ما تم التصريح بتاعه من الرئيس بتاع الوفد الحكومي. وهو بيقول برضو انه الحاجة المهم انه يكون في اعادة بتاعة النظر في الحوار او الاولوية لاعادة بتاعة الحوار، لانه هو بيقول انه ما في حاجة رسمي اللي جاء من حكومة جنوب السودان للوساطة الكينية على أساس إنه مبادرة بتاع تمايني مات. إذن الحاجة المهم إنه يتم إعادة بتاع الحوار في مبادرة بتاع تمايني، وفي نقاط كثيرة اللي هو طرق فيه بسبب قلة الوقت. خلينا نمشي لفاصل إعلاني بسيط، بعد ما نرجع خلينا نرفع المكالمات بكل اختصار. صباح الخير.
Attention! The malaria vaccine is available in South Sudan, targeting children aged 5 to 23 months. The vaccine has been integrated into routine immunization services with 4 scheduled doses, which is highly recommended to be received at 5, 6, 7, and 18 months of age. Ensure your child receives all 4 doses for best protection and to boost their immunity. The vaccine is safe, free, and effective, significantly reducing the risk of malaria and saving lives. Even after vaccination, continue to sleep under a long-lasting insecticide-treated mosquito net every night. Remove stagnant water and clear the bush around your home to keep mosquitoes away. As part of the second phase, the vaccine will be rolled out across 52 counties of Upper Nile, Western Equatoria, Lakes, Unity, Eastern Equatoria, Jonglei State, Abyei, Rueng, and Pibor administrative areas. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from WHO, UNICEF, and partners.
Did you know non-communicable diseases like heart disease, stroke, cancer, diabetes, hypertension, asthma, and chronic mental illnesses are long-term illnesses that can't be passed from person to person? There is no exact cause. However, they are attributed to a mix of factors, including genetic, environmental, physiological, and behavioral factors. And yes, your lifestyle matters. Smoking, unhealthy eating, lack of exercise, harmful alcohol use, and even air pollution can all increase your risk. But here's the good news. You can take charge of your health. Start by adopting healthier habits like eating foods with less oils or fats and avoid sugary foods. Staying active, avoiding tobacco and excessive alcohol, and going for regular medical checkups. Stay informed, spread the word, and support healthier choices in your family and community. For more information, visit Melekia Diabetes Center within Melekia Primary Health Care Center premises. This message is brought to you by the South Sudan Red Cross and State Ministry of Health, Central Equatoria State.
Good morning, it's
مرحبا بك مرة ثانية. بجيبنا ل8 دقائق لرأس السادة، الوقت اللي فيه نرفع بعض من المكالمات للتعليقات بتاعك بعد ما سمينا من نائب بتاعت الرئيس الوساطة بتاع مبادرة تمعيني على أساس إنه المبادرة ما انتهى أو ما مات. أي راديو.
الو يا راديو.
نعم سلطان.
إيمانويل أكيلي.
نعم.
الزول بتاع وساطة ده هو من الجنوب ولا جاي من برا؟
هو من كينيا.
اوكي. إيمانويل أكيلي طبعا إذا كان هو جاي من برا ده عم وساطة، أولا نحن ما شوفها سكر، شعب الجنوب شعب واعي جدا جدا جدا. إذا كان سينيور أدفايزر والميان جوا مهندس بتاع وزاده يا رئيس بتاع تمين بقولوا تفاعل ده بات أزل جاكين يده وتيجي الكوالي وتومن ده وما يكان الشال التفاعلية بتاع روما ده وشانه كده ودخل فيه الناس المتمر لما الكوال ميان قال الشغل ده مات بس السؤال بتاعي بقول we are senior أكثر من الكوال ميان اثنين. إذا كانوا ودي رامون مكانيكية بتومن ده عشان وجاء دار ذكر ذات هذا كان باقي دولارات الفضل لما دارين يتم ده وشاب جنوب يا ما قادرين يعني نقولهم دارين يشوف ذات السكوت بتومن ما قادرين ذات ويصيروا مرتبط بتوعه وما دارين يتموا. إيمانويل اتفاقية ده أساسا ما دام السينيور بتاعنا هو قال مات أساسا هو مات. أنا ما في زول أكبر من كل من يان ويا رب تبغى لكن الناس ما الشعب ما يلعب الناس ما يلعب في أكل الجنوب. أنا بقول إنتوا بيان الأسئلة المساكين الشغل الناس ما يلعب في أكلكم وما يلعب في أكل الشعب بتاعكم. الزول لما جاي ده وقابل الكوال عشان ناكل مع كوال اتفاقية ده ما مات.
لا ونسنا معه بالتليفون من كينيا هناك. طبعا هو نائب بتاع لازاروس سيمبويو.
ولي شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا. ده تعليق بتاع السلطان جوزيف. وانا دارين نعرف انه انت رسالتك هيكون شنو من الناحيه بتاعت انه كل العمليات اللي بتمشي سواء كان حوار بتاع التمعيني ولا الحوار الداخلي كله بيصب في المصلحه العامه، انه الحاجه دايرين السلام الحقيقي والسلام يكون شامل في كل ارجاء البلاد، ما يكون في مشاكل. اي راديو.
إيمانويل يسمع كده كبير لزعيم.
كبير المستمعين استاذ مجوك.
استاذ مجوك يعني.
نعم اتفضل.
تهيأ لك يا اخوي، انت عارف ايمانويل طبعا السياسه في الجنوب انت ما بتفهم هو ببدا من وين وبينتهي وين. ولما تشوف السياسيين بتاعنا ذاته يعني سياسه الكف اللي عنده دبلوماسيه الحوار ذاته وما في. فطبعا الرئيس مقدم الوفاء التمعيني جاء اعلن في جنوب السودان التمعيني مات. طبعا في سؤالين، هل ده راي شخص ككوال منيان ولا راي بتاع الحكومه؟ لانه اذا راي شخصي ففي نفسه يمكن هو يريد بتاع التمعيني اذا مبادره ثانيه تم تنشيطه مثلا كويس ومشى هيقول انا كنت كتابي انا ولا هيقول كيف؟ طيب هل هيقول ده موقف رسمي؟ هيقول للحكومه الصينيه هنا في جوبا انا كحكومه جنوب السودان أننا شفنا الاتفاقية يعني أنا قررنا الاتفاقية ده ما عملنا الاتفاقية ما فين بديتها كويس يعني حتى إعلانه بتوم في كينيا إذا مات في tumaenda between United Kenya and was found tumbari abana ne tuka geda ma yala ba da wabta ko yarda iji gida mutumar sa ha gore su juba fa shuf شوف عشان كده شوف ده موجود في سياسيين انا برضه طبعا ما مستبعد من التصريحات بتاع بول منيان لانه زي ما هو قال لي يعني سجل يعني الكلام سجلوه ده ما شغل سياسي حاجه غريب جدا قال ما شغل سياسي ده بخصوص لانه في جرم يعني it is a criminal يعني criminal case طبعا ده حاجه غريب جدا ما هو كريمنال كيس ده كويس انت ما بتعامل انه قبل ما الزول يتحاكم الزول بدون محكمه المحكمه تثبت انه الزول ده يعني بقى العمل لشاب او تثبت انه الزول ده مجرم انا بعد ده حكومه بثلاث سنين للشعب بقول انه المتزارع الحكم بكون واضح شوف عشان كده التصريحات شوف جنوب السودان يا اخويا وضع بتوزع ده كويس جنوب السودان ده زول يعني سياسي بالفعل قلب على الشعب ده ما في كويس يعني هذا جاء قالت معين ما تنمى ذاته يعني قطع النفس باقي الشعب جنوب فوق لانه كان في عمل يعني هذا سموه مركز العمل كويس يعني طبعا المهم انا وين كيف نشوف كويس يا هذا الناس اللي بيقول لا يعني اتفاقيه لسه يعني انا بنشوف ما كويس انت مبررات بتاعهم ورئيس المفوضات الجلوسان بتاعتهم انا قلت معي ما انا اللي شاف لما قطع نفسنا فوق نشوف يعني دي دخل جلوسان في يعني في معزه لكن الجلوسان فضيه ما قاعد يمسكوا ده المشكله هنا يعني ما في جديد بعد شوي اذا المدير قالوا ودخل فوق المده يمشي ثاني أنا ما أعرف حيبدأوا من وين. شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا لك أستاذ مجوك. Radio.
Tomorrow, just Akile, good morning.
Yes, good morning, David Magog. Welcome.
My brother, when we talk about this issue of Tumaini or an agreement in South Sudan, the problem there is what is so-called political analysis. When people talk about the political analysis, you press the ball, make a meeting. Then you agree what to announce. Because the beginning of Tumaini was the President Salva Kiir who went to President William Ruto that we need to move agreement from St. Gideon in Rome to Kenya. And then your government will mediate it. Then when they agree by themselves, then that's why they have chosen Lazarus Mboyo with his deputy to mediate the agreement. If the Tumaini agreement was about to die, why the president by himself consulted another president so that they announced it that the Tumaini agreement is dead? It's supposed to be done like that. That is according to the system. Number two, if the agreement by itself is going to be mediated or signed, the president would have even said that we have made amnesty to those who have run away in South Sudan, not rebels, because many of them were not rebels. They were working with the government of South Sudan. Like Malong was a former chief. Pagan was a former SG. Pilaziban Tomachirilo was the former legislative of the SPLA. Those people, they were working with the government and they left country as if they were going for treatment. The others were going to go and relax. They did not even rebel against the government. That was supposed to be the first thing that the government would have made, that all those people who have the country for treatment or for just another visitation, they are given amnesty so that they come back to South Sudan.
Right.
And then you will look exactly who were the rebel so that they can make agreement with him. So the government was the problem. He created an agreement which is not known what to do. And as the agreement was about to be done, they even say that now the agreement is dead. Why do they wake up and they tell the person to sleep? The problem is the government by itself. Thank you.
Alright, thank you. ده فيو بتاع ديفيد ماجوج، وهنرفع لسه بعض المكالمات بعد الأخبار باللغة الإنجليزية مع الزميل للسوبر ميمو.
Looking for the perfect radio partner? iRadio is your answer. Why choose iRadio? Here are the 5 compelling reasons.
Trust and reach. iRadio stands as the most trusted and popular radio station in South Sudan. Backed by recent surveys with a loyal listener base, your message will reach a wide audience effectively.
Extensive network. iRadio is not just a radio station. is a network of interconnected stations. When you partner with iRadio, we'll broadcast your program across multiple locations such as Wow, Awil, Kwajok, Yambio, Bor, Rang, Malakal, and Baliet, ensuring maximum coverage and impact.
Regional presence. iRadio footprint extends to the states of Western and Northern Bahr el Ghazal, Western and Central Equatoria, Jonglei, Upper Nile, and Warab. By collaborating
live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, good morning. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. Vice President Dr. Benjamin Bolmel has departed for an official visit to Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, with a mission to deliver a special message from President Salva Kiir. The Peace and Security Council of the African Union has called for the implementation of a permanent ceasefire and a stronger protection for civilians and humanitarian workers following a two-day visit to Juba on Sunday. And the Transitional National Legislative Assembly has passed the Wildlife Conservation and Protected Areas Bill 2025. These are stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Lasuba Memo, and now the news in detail. Vice President Dr. Benjamin Bolmel has departed for an official visit to Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, with a mission to deliver a special message from President Salva Kiir. He left from Juba International Airport on Tuesday afternoon, according to his office. The message is addressed to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the President of UAE and the ruler of Abu Dhabi, and will be delivered through His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Vice President of the UAE and Deputy Prime Minister. Dr. Bolmel is accompanied by senior government officials from key institutions. As the sitting chair of the economic cluster, is expected to hold high-level discussions with UAE leaders aimed at strengthening economic and diplomatic ties between the two nations. According to the Vice President's office, the visit will focus on expanding avenues for cooperation, boosting investment, and identifying opportunities that can improve the livelihoods of South Sudanese citizens. Before his departure, Dr. Bolmel recalled President Kiir's ongoing commitment to forging international partnerships grounded in peace, prosperity, and sustainable development. According to him, these partnerships are laying the foundations for greater investment, job creation, and growth. The Peace and Security Council of the African Union has called for the implementation of the permanent ceasefire and a stronger protection for civilians and humanitarian workers following a two-day official visit to Juba. The 15-member delegation led by Dr. Mohamed Khalid arrived in the capital on Sunday and engaged in high-level meetings with President Salva Kiir, the leadership of the National Elections Committee and the National Constitutional Review Committee. During their visit, the delegation also met with a broad range of stakeholders, including representatives of faith-based organizations, civil society groups, think tanks, and the media. The delegation also held consultations with members of the Troika, including the United States, United Kingdom, and Norway, as well as the European Union, the United Nations Mission in South Sudan, the reconstituted Joint Monitoring and Evaluation Commission, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, Cabinet Ministers, and the High-Level National Transitional Committee. In a statement released on Tuesday, the AU delegation reaffirmed its support for the full implementation of the 2018 Revitalized Peace Agreement and the conduct of national elections in December 2026, which are expected to conclude the transitional period. The statement partially reads, and I quote, "The Peace Security Committee stressed the need to ensure the full implementation of the remaining tasks in the revitalized agreement, called for a permanent ceasefire, protection of civilians and humanitarian workers. The PSC expressed its unwavering support towards the organization of elections in December 2026, marking the end of the transition in South Sudan," end quote. The Council further emphasized the importance of an inclusive, high-level political dialogue among South Sudanese leaders as a path to resolving the current political challenges. The AU delegation said the visit was also a demonstration of solidarity with the people of South Sudan and a commitment to supporting lasting peace and stability in the country. Before the international news, the Transitional National Legislative Assembly has passed the Wildlife Conservation and Protected Areas Bill 2025. The bill, comprising 11 chapters, was presented by lawmaker Wilson Lodiong Sebit, followed by extensive debate among members of the parliament yesterday. The purpose of the bill is to establish a comprehensive regulatory framework to govern all matters related to wildlife conservation, the establishment and management of protected areas, and the sustainable management of South Sudan's natural heritage and wildlife resources for the benefits of its citizens. Under the bill, the National Wildlife Service will be guided by several key principles. Among them is the conservation and protection of natural ecosystems, biodiversity, and endangered species, which shall be the primary consideration in the execution of the ministry's mandate. The bill also outlines the objectives of the Wildlife Service, which include promoting and enhancing the contribution of the wildlife sector to the sustainable development of South Sudan and ensuring the sustainable management and conservation of wildlife for the benefit of both current and future generations. During the session, several members raised concerns affecting their constituencies, including the increasing incidence of human-wildlife conflict and challenges in implementing land policies. Speaker Emmanuel stated that this legal framework is very important for the ministry to operate effectively and called upon stakeholders to genuinely support the ministry in managing the country's vital natural resources. This is iRadio Morning News, and now to the international scene. At least 40 people have been killed in an attack on a camp for displaced people in Sudan's western Darfur region. That's according to an aid group that works there. The Abu Shok Emergency Response Room said Monday's assault was carried out by the Rapid Support Forces, the resistance committee in nearby El Fashir city made up of local citizens and activists. El Fashir, which came under intense attack as well, is the last major foothold in Darfur for the army and its allies, which have been fighting the paramilitary RSF in the 2-year civil war. The conflict has triggered a humanitarian crisis, with the UN warning that families trapped in the besieged city face starvation. Finally, U.S. National Guard troops have begun appearing on the streets of Washington, D.C. a day after President Donald Trump deployed the troops to the city and took control of its police force as he argued violent crime was out of control. Armored vehicles were spotted at urban centers and tourist sites around the U.S. Capitol on Tuesday evening. Officials have said that 800 National Guard troops are expected to be deployed, as well as 500 federal law enforcement agents. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, a Democrat who has denied crime is out of control in her city, described the troop deployment as an authoritarian push. This is our Radio Morning News. And to end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. Vice President Dr. Benjamin Bolmel has departed for an official visit to Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, with a mission to deliver a special message from President Salva Kiir. The Peace and Security Council of the African Union has called for the implementation of a permanent ceasefire and a stronger protection of civilians and humanitarian workers following a 2-day official visit to Juba. And the Transitional National Legislative Assembly has passed the Wildlife Conservation and Protected Areas Bill 2025. That's the end of iRadio Morning News. If there is a story or an event you'd like our radio to cover or report about, please send us a text message at +21 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba. Like our Facebook page, iRadio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at 8 o'clock. I am Nasuba Memo. Thank you for listening.